Hi there, welcome to another one of my videos. I've been doing that quite a lot lately, saying welcome. I don't think I realised I was doing it till lately. I don't know how long I've been doing it either. And I've just been saying welcome to another video. When I used to do my videos, I used to just say anything that came to my mind. You know, because I'm making it up as I go along, basically. You know, I had an unexpected spiritual awakening. And, you know, so I'm just channeling information. But where does it come, actually? Because before I started this video just now, I was just thinking, what is something? I mean, you know, a person thinks that they're a person. I mean, this stuff I'm talking about now, that I'm waiting to dive into, that I'm talking about, this is stuff that I started to perceive in this unexpected spiritual awakening. That was one of the first early things that happened, you know, 10 years ago when I had the unexpected spiritual awakening. I started to think of nothing. I didn't know why I was doing it. And then later on I found it was a meditation, very popular meditation. And I've been doing it for a year since that awakening. But then I started to perceive how everything has to come from nothing. You think logically, you can't have a something without a nothing, you would think. This is all things I started to think about. And same with the spiritual awakening I had. If you have a nothing, then you can only dream that you've had a spiritual awakening. I can only dream that I'm who I think I am. Because if there's nothing, then you don't exist. Because you're nothing. You're nothing. This is also I'm talking about in Buddhism, because I found out after my awakening, a few years later, that I found out, it was through YouTube, I found out that it's in Buddhism what I was going through. Because I thought I was the only one going through this. Then I realised that I think some people have said thousands of years, since forever, people have been going through spiritual, like, ascension processes. And it's becoming more apparent now in our society that more people are going through it now. But it's still not a massive number. You know, 144,000, I've seen some religious people say that is prophesized, and that's not a lot compared to nearly 8 billion. But it doesn't matter what's in any religion or any book, because, like I say, if everything comes from nothing, then everything after nothing is made up. If you have a nothing, then you have life. Just to say out of nothing. Then anything after that point, after you've got something, a life, is made up by everybody else. And when you are asleep, you don't think of these things. When I had jobs, and when I was asleep and wasn't going through any awakenings, I wasn't thinking of any of this stuff. It wasn't in my awareness until the age of 24, when I had the unexpected spiritual awakening. And everything has to come from nothing, though, if you think about it. And if you have consciousness, awareness from nothing, then that means that the nothing would have to be a something to begin with. And the nothing would have to be just infinite awareness. Because nothingness is infinity. And if you're aware, then it means that we're always aware. And when I started to realize this in this awakening, I started to realize, wait a minute, I am God. Because if there's only me and I'm all of infinity and all this is me, then all this is the reflection of me. But it's different mirrors of the same force, of the same oneness, you see. And now, some people are saying it, quite a few people are saying it, that if everybody's seen from this viewpoint, that everything's a mirror and we're all one, then everything will be fine. You see? They try to play this game of duality against us, you see. See, when you have a something from a nothing, you then have a dual. A duality is just the nature of reality. But the system uses this against us, it insults our intelligence, right? It's not really an insult because we've been brainwashed to be stupid and thinking that we're intelligent. If you have a father that was a professor, it doesn't mean you're intelligent. If you're a professor, it doesn't mean you're intelligent. It just means you know how to repeat things. All education is programming. You just repeat what they tell you to repeat, and you get the degree or the prize, whatever it is. I remember that when I was in school, kids would get a card or something, or special card if they were, you know, if they know what the teacher said. Everything teacher said. So it's just it's just control. But when you start to have a spiritual awakening, you start to be aware of this. You start to be aware of, like, reality I'm talking about, nothingness. But duality comes from nothing. In awareness, you're in a dual because you're aware of yourself, and awareness presents that illusion of two, because you're aware of yourself and you then have perception of self, and then you perceive something else. But the system uses our ignorance with this duality to split us, divide and rule. And that's what it does, black against white all the time. And that's what it tries to do. It's not that anything is racial or anything like that, it's that they make it like that. Instead of trying to promote oneness. Even the guy that was killed in America, Floyd, no one's talking about oneness. No one's saying I am you and we're all one. They're not saying that. That's because there's an agenda. And if you notice, they've shifted the agenda. They've shifted it from coronavirus to this. That's because people were starting to wake up regarding the COVID-19 hoax. And that's what's going on. People are realizing now, because we're going through a spiritual awakening. And like this video has really been about nothingness, awareness, people are awakening with their awareness. And as you awaken more and more, you start to become aware of reality. And this is what they're terrified of. That's why they've shifted the focus from COVID to racism. That's why they've done that. Because of what's going on. You know, it's people are waking up to it. You know. And that's what we are. This is what happened to me in this unexpected spiritual awakening. I started to perceive and then think of it. I never thought about it before, because you're now interacting, you're now returning to your real self. And that's why you're asking all these questions. What is reality? Everything has to come from nothing. And then you start to think of, who am I? Then you realize you don't actually exist, because the existence of what you think is the self of yourself is a person who's repeated and been brainwashed his entire life. So you take away the brainwashing, you take away all the things that have molded your perceptual state, and there is no you anymore. What are you left with? You're left with nothing. That's what you're left with. That means that's what this is. It's all nothing. That's why I say that it's only only thing you can have from nothing is a dream. If the nothing is aware, obviously it is. We know that now. That the nothingness is awareness, and that means that nothing is physical. Nothing is real, like science shows. Nothing is physical. It's all just awareness with no form. That's it. And that's all everything is, awareness with no form. It's similar. It's like similar to this. At the start of this COVID-19 pandemic, they were saying how COVID-19 isn't the flu. Well, actually, it is, because everything is the same thing. This is what quantum physics shows. How a little object is the same thing. That's because a little object is the infinity of everything, because everything is from the same infinity. That's why I was saying earlier that in this awakening I realized that I am God. That's what you realize. I started to realize, wait a minute, I'm the infinity. I started to look around me. And even if you look around you, you can see how everything's glued together. Everything's glued together, like it's stuck to each other, like it's a simulated reality. This is, you know, very similar to what I was watching yesterday, watching these two experts on 5G, and they were saying that this 5G technology can see inside your home, and that's kind of similar to what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the simulated reality, and it's becoming more in our faces that it is a simulation. You know, with all this smart grid stuff. But yeah, you just think about it. What is anything really? If you think about it, if everything has to come from nothing, then you also can't have a start point if everything has to come from nothing. You can't have a beginning or an end. You can't have anything if everything comes from nothing. You can only have a dream at best. But then again, if there's nothingness, then there's an infinity of possibility. And yet, us on this planet, most people think that they are right over everybody else, and that there's no other viewpoints. That's what most people think. Like the left side used to be about give peace a chance, but now the left isn't about the left, it's about the right. The left is conservative. You see? I just wanted to point that out. Just something that hot my awareness, because I'm channeling in these videos. It's not me, Sean, that's speaking. It's the channel. I'm picking up higher levels of consciousness, and then I'm presenting it on these talks. You know, that's why I just, you know, I try and be as comfortable as I can in these talks. You know, it's all about being in my comfort zone on this talk, so I can channel the best. But you think about it, what is anything? What if you didn't have all the things that have programmed you, would you even exist? You wouldn't. And this blows all the religious crap out the water. I think the only thing that exists is love. Like, I'll end on this line by David Icke. I'll end the video with this. Infinite love is the only truth. Everything else is illusion. Thank you for watching and listening. And for latest updates, please do check my website, which is www.lovelightfamily.com. Thank you for watching.